Now, one of the things about the roundhouse here is that, well, there's no internet. But that means this is the perfect place to pull out these paper maps and navigate the old-fashioned way. So let's first of all take a look at the Katy Trail itself. This map is provided by the Missouri State Park Service, and I very much appreciate being able to see everything on the map. Now, we started out down here just south of St. Charles and traveled the first day to Defiance, which is right here. So that was as far as we made it on the first day. Then the second day we went from Defiance all the way through all these different places. In McKittrick, we took a little jaunt across the river to Herman for lunch, came back over, continued along the way past Rhineland, past Portland, past Mocaine, and finally into Tebbetts, where we are now. That was 78 miles of riding. It marks my first half century, it marks my first metric century, and it marks my first three-quarter century. That's an amazing number of things to happen in one day, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if the trail hadn't been so flat. Well, hello there. It's never too early for a tour. Let me show you around the wonderful Katy Turner Roundhouse, this hostel that we've got here. Come on in, come on in. No, I love giving tours at 7 a.m. It's absolutely the right thing to do. Welcome to the main room here. You can see we've got beds galore, many, many beds. And here is the kitchen, complete with all of the various and sundry kitchen equipment that you would expect. When you come in for the first time, make sure you log in the logbook and read the instructions about what to do. And then come on, we'll go this way. First here, we have the showers. They're kind of janky, and they don't have any hot water. But hey, all the cold water you could want. And a clothesline in the back in case you want to hang up things to dry. And over here, we have the bike repair area. Some spare tubes, a saw just in case something needs to be cut off the bike. All sorts of interesting stuff. Half the fun of this place is figuring out which lights work and which ones don't. Welcome to the upstairs. Just in case there weren't enough beds downstairs for you to take with you on your trip, well, you got some more up here, some more bunks. And also, handy little pool table, or ping pong table. Over in this corner, the puzzle table. Working on creating a streetcar scene, it seems. Oh, and a Bible. I didn't plan this. Prediction of famine, 2 Kings chapter 8. All right, that doesn't bode well. Welcome back to the downstairs. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, wow, what amazing accommodations. It must have cost you an arm and a leg to stay there. Well, you'd be wrong. It was $5 for the night per person, but since it's only me, $5 for the night. And they work on the honor system, so you put the money into an envelope, put the envelope in the post office in a drop box for it, and it's all ready to go. But I'm so glad you could check out my accommodations here at the Turner Katy Roadhouse in Tebbetts, Missouri. That right there, free Wi-Fi, very, very helpful. So last night, this is where I came to be able to have any cell signal. Right out here. How appropriate that the Wi-Fi is at a place with pews. This is apparently the community house. I don't know if they do church services here or if this is a fellowship community gathering area, but clearly it's a nice place to get a cell signal. Jefferson means the Missouri State Capitol is over in Jeff City. Might be able to catch a glimpse of it here. Looks like it's covered by highway. The sun finally decided to peek out. Was worried it was going to be gray all day. I do like gray, don't get me wrong, but when you've got the opportunity for views of the river, with a little bit of sun, oh, it seems to have gone away again. Well, here's hoping that the storms hold off until I'm set up in camp this afternoon. To that end, I've decided I'm going to go straight past Rocheport, try to make it into New Franklin. Good morning. Rest time. Now, I noticed these reeds earlier when I was riding on a high bluff, and they were kind of providing a wall. And I thought they were very interesting. Apparently, they take a lot of silicate into themselves and have a texture like sandpaper. And the Native Americans and early settlers used them to scour their cast iron pans and things since they were so gritty. So I'm standing here in front of Rocheport. I'm sure my French is atrocious, but it's a pierced rock. It was one of the landmarks along the Missouri River, noted by many people, including Lewis and Clark. They called it Split Rock. And eventually the creek that runs by here was called Perch Creek, as a kind of corruption of that. But that is a natural arch here by the Missouri River.
Behind me here is a explosives storage location that the MKT engineers used to, well, store explosives. It's an old building on the trail, and they were using those explosives to detonate through the mountain that we're about to come up to, the so-called Rocheport tunnel, and I'm looking forward to going through that in just a moment. But let's take a moment and explore over here, shall we? Hear the dripping of the water. I'm not going to go inside, but vaults like this were used to store explosives in such a way that they would remain dry and that if there was an accident, it wouldn't hurt anybody. Now it's off limits to go inside, or I would show it off, but I just love how they used the local stone mixed in with some mud to provide that safe space. And you can see that's a pretty significant door frame that they would lock so that no one could get access to the explosives when it wasn't needed for blasting. Started. Oh boy. Nine miles to go. It's only supposed to get worse. Gotta keep going. So cool. And into the dark. There we go. Good day. Now begins the adventure part of this trip. For that is the normal cycling bridge to get across on the Katy Trail. As you can tell, it's not safe to use right now in any way, shape, or form. However, there's this nice little crossing right here to get across the little muddy spot. It's not even over. Even though it's raining a little bit, the water's not even over the path. So, I get to be a little adventurous today. New Franklin! Now I just got to figure out where I'm staying the night, but this is great. Blessed dryness for a moment. So when I was doing my planning for the trip today, I really thought the Katy Roundhouse was in New Franklin. Turns out it's in Franklin. Now, granted, there's less than a mile between the two, but I was so excited to make it to New Franklin, and I hadn't even picked up on the fact that it wasn't where I was staying tonight. Oh well, at least out of the rain for a moment. And fortunately there was a local map to help me figure out where I was going next. Hopefully next stop, Franklin and the Katy Roundhouse, where we'll be staying the night. Made it to camp. Got everything set up here. It's nice to have water protection for the bike and for me. And we've got water a-boiling because we're making chili mac today. While we have a little break in the rain, figured this was a good time to eat some food. Good morning. After a long, wet night, the rain has mostly decided to turn just into spatterings instead of constant. So I've been packing up and I'm just about to take down the tarp and then hit the trail again. I can't believe that made it through that night. There were some times that I thought that the rain was just gonna come down in buckets, and I thought there were rivers running by the campsite. Fortunately, in a hammock, you don't need to worry about the site flooding. One of the few remaining signal posts. Downhill's nice.